Lifelong learning is a form of a initiative to education that is focused on personal development, right? It's all about you, all right? It's about what you really want to learn about, right? What you want to know about, what your interest is about, right? While there is no standardized definition of lifelong learning, it was generally being taken to refer to the learning that occur outside of formal education institutes, right? So it has nothing to do with the degrees or get a diploma. It has to do with your own self. Educate, like choose the book that you want to read. All right. Um, Lifelong learning it does not necessarily have a restrict itself in formal learning, right? Um, so because of that, so a lot of people doesn't focus on just learning them itself. It has to go to school and education program. But when you get in the mindset to teach yourself to learn, more things that normally do in the traditional education, you have some more ideas in how to develop your mindset and create and improve your quality of life, right? The importance of lifelong learning, whether pursue a personal interest and passion of chasing professional ambition. Lifelong learning can help us to achieve a personal fulfillment and satisfaction, right? Is really satisfying, right? For example, for me, that I've been on all new skills, for a year now, right? It's all new skills. I'm in, marketing, online marketing. There's no something that I haven't done that before, right? And now I'm learning all these new skills, and it's very fulfillment because I like it. I like to learn it. I like to study it, and I like to teach it back, right? So that's why especially on the institution that I am into now, it is a constantly studying, it's constantly learning new stuff, and I'm gonna be learning for the rest of my life. And what I wanna do, what I wanna pursue in life is something that I have to be, you're constantly learning something new. I'm talking about by the day. So it's very important to have the mindset. If you wanna, be successful, pursue something in life that you really love, then just do something that somebody tell you to do. All right. We are all lifelong learners. Okay. This is a part of what it means to be a human. All right. We have a natural curiosity, and we are natural learners. Right. We develop on the growth thanks to our ability to learn. Right. We are human. We have the ability to learn things. And we should take advantage of that to learn more stuff in life than just what the traditional school will give you, right? Uh, Lifelong learning recognize that not all of our learning comes from a classroom, right? For example, a child, for example, learn to talk, learn to walk, learn to ride a bike at home, right? Uh, um, an adult, learn to use a smartphone, when all grown up, but nowadays even kids, can learn that, little kids can learn that easy. So it's a new way of life now, right? You can live with no phone, and electronics, right? Um, lifelong learning is a fulfillment, so right? It's a personal fulfillment, all right? Personal fulfillment yeah, and the development refer to natural interest, curiosity, and motivation that lead us to learn new things. We'll learn for ourselves, not for someone else, right? So you gotta keep that in mind that when you learn, when you you are in the constantly learning something new. You want to learn something for yourself, for somebody else. And what do you learn, it stays with you, all right? And then you can teach others to, you know, what you learn. Eh, that's a great thing to do as well, right? The key checklist for lifelong learning is voluntary, right? You can volunteer to any organization to learn something new. Self motivation, you know, self motivation is very important to for your life learning. You gotta have self motivation, um, and that it will come with, for example, you reading a book that you really like, right? For example, right? For me, I'm not a reader. Tell you the truth, I'm not a reader, but I find out I'm not a reader for things that I don't like. All right, I find out that there's some subjects that I love to read. All right, I like to read about the things that you know my I like to read about my own, for example, um, about science. I like to read about science. All right, I like to read about spiritual stuff. Especially if I'm reading about spiritual stuff. I'm just reading and reading and reading, don't stop reading. I like to read about things about angels and numbers and stuff. That's something that really have a passion. And when I start reading, I just can't stop. I just keep on going, keep on going. And then I realized that, I'm self-educating myself on the things that I really like. And I have a passion to read those stuff. And anything else, if I want to read it, I kind of read it and I got bored about it. Um, Developing new skills, is a great way to lifelong learning, right? You can just research for things that you really like and start performing that, and and develop the skills, the skills. uh, Self-taught, study, you can study subjects, you can study science, you can study history, you can study geography, especially with the geography, all right? You can even not even study the book, you can just travel. All right, you just travel enough, it will give you the self knowledge that you will need to succeed in life. All right, a lot of the things I know in my life is not because I read a book, but it's because I experienced it or because I lived it. So that's why I like to share it back. All right, when you learn a new sport or activity, all right, it's something that you gotta keep in mind. And, if you learn new skills, every time you learn new skills, you spend your mind and for new ideas, new opportunities. All right, you learn to use a new technology. All right, for example, a year ago, I wasn't that kind of computer savvy. Okay, all my life I work more with my body than my mind. Yes, I use my mind, but was more involved with my driving, working hotel, working the restaurants. Um, work in the parking lot. That's just not what work in the airports, and that was all the skills that I didn't need a lot of mindset. You know what I mean? So it more like a physical, and so I didn't develop a lot of skills for technology. Right? Even though in the 90s, in the later 90s, I became a computer technician. But I ended up didn't work on it because my parking lot, was in my insurance, so I had to stay with my insurance. So I didn't pursue the computer technology anymore. So I ended up doing something else, and for that, I forgot everything about computer until a year ago. I started, learning about computer again and learning all the stuff. And now it's been a year later. Now I can build my own website. I can build my own page. I can create stuff. I know I can do stuff in the computer. I can make my own image. I can do so much stuff in the computer right now. Just on a year of learning, myself learning, and I'm developing the skills, and it's just so amazing, so amazing. And then I think back, imagine if I didn't do all these, all right? Imagine if I didn't decide all these a year ago that I wanted to self-educate myself so I can be something else that I want to be, you know. Perhaps I was still, in the same place where I were before, right? Um, I, you know, another the benefits of lifelong learning is a renewed self-motivation, right? You always get a motivation to do things. Sometimes we get stuck in route to doing things that's simple because we have to do them, right? Like going to work or cleaning the house, right? Something that we have to do, right? We got caught up on that stuff. You gotta figure out what inspires us, right? You need to figure out what really inspires you, all right? Especially with the books in general. What to really inspire you to read, all right? You might not be the best reader out there, but we all have the specific subject that we really like to read, and we keep on reading it, all right? So you can figure out what works for you, all right? Recognition of personal interests and goals, right, make life more interesting and can even open the future opportunities. All right, so which is a great thing. It always is very important to self educate yourself, right? You can improve it in other personal and professional skills as well, right? While we are busy learning a new skills or acquiring a new knowledge, we are also building other valuable skills that can help us in our personal professional lives, right? Um, this because we utilize other skills, in order to learn something new, right? We use other skills, right? We always using one skills to learn some other skills new, which is just the way we function, right? And, and the skills development can include interpersonal skills, right? Can be creative, can be problem solving, creative, critical thinking, leadership, reflections, all right? All that can help you, in your skills to life learning, and also it will improve your self-confidence, right? This is one of the things very, very important. We talk about self-confidence before in our live events with Melanie. Improve self-confidence is everything basically on the human, okay? Because anybody with no self-confidence is just it's a miserable. Because you can do things that you really know. I know a lot of people out there that know stuff, but they don't have a self-confidence to just let it go, to let it come out, and that is very important to have the lifelong learning. It will improve your self-confidence, definitely. um, so when we how to adapt the lifelong learning in your life, right? uh, you gotta recognize, I just said that before. You gotta recognize your own personal interests and goals, right? You have to know what you like. You have to know what satisfies you. You want to know what make you happy. And then you start to researching for that particular subject, right? um, is about you, all right? Lifelong learning is about you. It's not about other people. It's not about you learning, for the other people, right? Uh, yes, always reflect on what you are passionate about, and do research for it and start studying it. Um, either is that, if you want to improve your career, all right, if you already have a career and you want to improve it, you want to self-study to it as well, right? I mean, actually nowadays employers, employees when doesn't only look for somebody that has a college degree, but then look for somebody that has a very bright mind, and somebody that actually does self-educate, educate himself, and have a very quality education that can improve in any field inside company or corporation, or whatever. um, if you make a list, if you make a list in what you like, and you start doing research on that area, it will help you to get to the next level, right? Because when you identify what you like, or what motivates you, is great. It's a great thing. It's a good thing to have, because it will help you. It will help you in a daily basis, with your life, right? So to identify how you would like to get involved, and the resource available, you can achieving our personal goal. It begins with figuring out, how to start it. How do you start it? All right. How do you start to research for things you really like? Right. uh, you must search for yourself first, right? You must search to see what you really like, all right? And then you put in the paper, and start to researching for it. That's the way I was thinking about, right? You got to structure, the learning goal into your life. Find a new learning goal into your busy life. It takes consideration and effort, right? But if you don't make time and space for it, it won't happen. All right? You have to make time for it. At least 1 hour a day. You say, okay, I'm gonna read my favorite subject, or I'm gonna be doing my favorite thing, right? I'm gonna be learning some new skills. You take 1 hour for it. Half hour for it. Any time you take to learn something new, it's good for you, right? It's good for you. uh, you know, uh, Plan out how to recommend of the new learning initiative can fit into your life, or what you need to do to make it happen, right? To make it fit. Um, for example, if you learn a new language, all right, is the learning goal, can you make time for 1 hour a day, for example, if you want to learn Spanish, all right? You take 1 hour a day, you learn some Spanish. I mean, you can learn from the book. You can, I mean, YouTube. You can go to YouTube, you learn some Spanish. You have so many ways. I mean, you can just Google, for example, what I usually do. When I used to sell cars, and sometimes I had a Spanish speaker, and they only write in Spanish, and we communicating, texting, or email. So what I do, I just go to the Google, and just translate. I write in English, translate in Spanish, and I have a perfect communication with the customer. And that was one way I had a lot of Spanish speaker, my customers. Because I do speak Spanish, but I could have write in Spanish, all right? Because it's not my natural language, right? But I find out that, hey, I can just go to Google and write in English and do the translation in Spanish, and I'm ready to go. And that was awesome for me, because it did help me a lot along the way, all right? But that was some skills I had to learn, and I learned for somebody else. I saw somebody else doing it and say, oh, wow, I guess we can all write Spanish now, right? So I get that mentality to, is you gotta find a way, so you can survive, right? But you gotta make commitment, all right? You gotta it's very important to make commitment with yourself, all right? If you plan to do something, if you plan to learn something, don't just procrastinate it, just put it behind, oh, tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come, right? When you make a decision that you want to focus on a particular subject to learn the skills, you need to focus into it. You need to get into it every single day, and you have to make a time for it. It's very important to have that. All right. So yeah, I mean, if you set a realistic expectation, and have the self motivation to see it through, and commitment to it and avoid making success, right? Excuse, right? So you gotta make commitment to everything you do, and stop doing excuse. Because excuses doesn't take you anywhere, all right? You have to work hard to get what you want, to be where you want to be, all right? It's very important to do that, all right? So yeah, I mean, with this lifelong learning is so important. I'm so in love right now to learn new things, and I'm spending my mind. I'm learning some new stuff, and I'm sharing it with somebody else. It's so important. It's so important. I feel right now, like a year ago, I feel like. I was just work for somebody. I just do what I told, and it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. And nowadays, it's a year of past life. I'm so many stuff I learned, so many new skills, not only professionally, but also the personal and physically. In every way. I feel like my mind is expanded. I feel like I do feel more confidence today than I felt like a year ago. You know, my confidence is always there, right? But I do feel more confidence today because I have so much stuff that I learned, right? I have so many new people that I met. I mean, in the past year, I met at least, you know, over 2,000 people, and I met so many people. I have so many, bright minds to teach me new stuff, tell me new stuff. I learned so many things from somebody else. You know what I mean? From for live events, right? I learned so much stuff for live events. I love about myself. I love who I am. But all that is because I decide to do the lifelong learning. You know what I mean? If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today. Right? It's very important. To library has a books. You can go to Google and search for anything you want. All right. Your phone, you can even talk to Siri all day long. All right, to give information you want, and you learn from that. All right. There is so many ways to learn something new, that you don't have to just stay in the same place. All right, you don't have to stay in the same place. Like you gotta move up. All right, you gotta learn something new, because every time you stay in one level, what's gonna happen. You're gonna get, I don't know, depression mode, because nothing else is working for you, because you already know everything, all right? When you know already everything, your life become bored, all right? What am I gonna do now? I already know everything, right? That's why you should learn something new, So you have to have your mindset to learn something new every day. That will make you stronger, more confident, and better person, all right? Better person. So yeah, guys, today we're talking about lifelong learning, and it's so many things to talk about, and I probably supposed to be talking about one specific one, but I just go abroad, about little things that we need to understand about lifelong learning. But yeah, keep in mind that we all human, we all has the capacity to learn something, and we learn something every day, we want it or not. All right, that's a reality. Well, even if we want to learn something or we don't want to learn, as long as we are alive, we are learning something new every single day. We are learning inside our personal life. We're learning, professional life. All right. So keep that in mind and keep strong and learn a lot and find out who you are, what you like, what you're passionate about, and make that happen and make that a priority, right? You have to make yourself a priority in some things, all right? I'm not saying to give up everybody else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying you have to prioritize yourself to learn something new so you can move on with your life and have more self-confidence that you can be and do whatever you want in life. All right, so thank you guys for coming in, for those that come in, and I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys next week, and I believe Melanie is going to be live as well next week, and we all gonna do something fun. All right, so thank you guys, love you all, and have a very happy weekend.